Hello viewers, I am Leopold Munende. Welcome to the business desk. With me today is Mr. Rinos Mautsa, the Executive Secretary of the Contact Center Association of Zimbabwe. We will be talking a bit about the business process outsourcing and their conference, which will be held on Wednesday at the HICC in Harare. Welcome to the show, Mr. Mautsa.
Okay, welcome. Thank you for having me here.
And then, Mr. Mautsa, maybe you can start by giving us a brief about what BPO is and in the Zimbabwean context.
Okay, thank you so much once again. And if you are to talk about the business process outsourcing, it's whereby companies, especially small, prevalent in the developed countries, where companies they prefer to outsource part of their non-core activities. So in this case, for example, US and European companies, they outsource part of their contact center to Philippines, to India. So the calls for US or UK clients, they are answered in Philippines or in India. So we call that business process outsourcing, and in relationship to contact centers. But it can also go, where it's servicing for maybe payroll processing. You are outsourcing maybe for accounting services or back office for IT services. It's more prevalent and more common in India, where we have over 100,000 people working in the BPO space, generating billions of dollars annually in India. And the world market is estimated to be over $1 trillion globally.
Oh, $1 trillion, so that's a lot of US dollars for Zimbabwe, if it so happens. Do we have the capacity?
So if you are to look at Zimbabwe right now, without obviously taking into consideration the current challenges that we are going through as a country, we have what it takes to become a global business process outsourcing destination. If you have to check maybe the value proposition for countries like India, Philippines, and if you have to go closer home to South Africa, they are the largest player. And this year or last year, it was voted number 2 destination globally, South Africa. Where Western Cape, they have over 50,000 people work. Just Western Cape as a province, 50,000 people are working in the contact centers, servicing the US and the European markets. And the value proposition now for Zimbabwe, our fiber is fast, our bandwidth is good. And if you have to check on the cost element, it's also good as well. We are way cheaper. And if you have to check on labor, we have a wide pool of labor force. And this is a low-hanging fruit for the government to consider, because we have thousands of graduates who are just sitting at home, and every year we are churning out graduates. So for government to create employment sustainably, this is the only opportunity that they can tap into without investing a lot of money. And our graduates, our people are, if you have to look at literacy rate, obviously I don't need to talk more about that. We are well aware about that. And in terms of our culture and work ethic, Zimbabweans, they work so hard. And so we are well positioned given all these areas of benefits, the costs and and if you have to check also the time zones, our timing zone is also globally positioned. It really suits and fits the time zones for the European markets and etc. So we are well positioned for this opportunity.
And then, are there any international call centers currently in Zimbabwe?
Yes, okay. So I'll just take you back. We started in 2011. We only had in-house contact centers. So if I'm talking about in-house contact centers, it's whereby maybe the telecoms company, they have call centers, but they are servicing their own clients. So they are not outsourcing that function. They have their own clients. So, but over the years, we only had 4 back then in 2011. But right now, we have almost 36 in-house contact centers. And those in-house contact centers, they are servicing their own clients in the telecoms, in the insurance sector, in the banking sector. So in other different sectors, they are setting up the in-house contact center. And over 6,000 people right now are working in contact centers, which is big, considering that in 2011 we had less than 50 people working in contact centers. So right now we have over 6,000, which is a huge jump. And if you are to look now back to your question now for international players, we have about 4 players that are servicing the South African markets. They are servicing the USA markets. And recently, Econet, they launched their another company, which is their outfit under the umbrella of the Econet brand, which is called OmniContact. So for OmniContact, they now have over 300 employees, and they are servicing European markets.
Okay.
So this is a new it's a low-hanging fruit, and it's a good opportunity to generate foreign currency and to create, employment also in our country.
And still on that, how much are we looking at investing in this sector, and how much are we looking at ripping back?
Okay, so
maybe in US dollar terms.
In US dollar terms, of
I
course.
know you business people enjoy US dollars.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you are to check in US dollars, to start your own contact center for outsourcing, it's not a lot of money. There are three major components, which is the software for the contact center, which is constitute almost 85% of the cost, followed by the hardware, followed by the economics, the desks and stuff. So these are the major costs. And if you want to start, for example, you can start maybe at a very, very minimal cost, maybe of $20,000. Okay. But believe me, if you are to outsource, if you got a reliable client, maybe in the European markets or in South Africa, for example, you can get back your money within a month. Okay. So it's very, very sustainable. And these days we are talking about impact sourcing also, as well, where maybe the World Bank, the Rockefeller Foundation, and other NGOs, they are also funding, so that at least if your mandate and if you are focusing on creating employment more than maybe profit focused, you can get funding on that regard.
And then on your upcoming conference at the HICC, what do attendees or attendance? Yeah. I don't know which English word we will use.
Delegates.
Delegates.
Yes.
You see, that's the good thing about speaking to people who are in business. They'll teach you English. The delegates, what do they stand to benefit from this upcoming conference?
Well, we have a number of delegates that are coming from the US, from India, and from South Africa. So others are coming to scout the opportunities. So for them, obviously, they will see firsthand if Zimbabwe is ready for this to be a big global business process outsourcing player. And also we also have other who are just coming to check if they can outsource to Zimbabwe. These are potential clients for Zimbabwean companies. Then we also have other entrepreneurs who have started their own, or who are planning to set up their own contact centers for outsourcing as well. They are attending the conference. So it depends on your objective to say what are you attending for. But irrespective of your objective, you are going to benefit, because all the players, the international players, are coming, and we also have experienced, facilitators who are going to share global best practices for those who have in-house contact centers in Zimbabwe, to say how can you benchmark your contact center to become a world-class center of excellence, so that you can service your customers better, for in-house contact center. Just imagine the telecoms companies right now. We have companies that if you call them right now to get help, for any help, sometimes the calls are hardly answered. So it is in such platforms where they also learn on best practices on how they can improve their customer experience and also better service their customers for sustenance and growth as well.
And then you are speaking of a situation where there will be more investors in the contact center industry. Yes. In Zimbabwe. And then as I was doing my research, I came across a number of risks associated with these contact centers, where information which is confidential sometimes is leaked or something like that, or exposed. Does Zimbabwe have the capacity to deal with something like that? Do we have the capacity to maintain the secrecy of information which is supposed to be confidential?
Yeah, no, confidentiality, I think, is a very, very key element on outsourcing. And I think in different countries also have been affected by that. But right now, the clients, for example, if I service US clients, so they also have some clauses that also protect them. But from our end as an industry association, we are working with the government and we are lobbying so that they can enact a law that will also protect the investors. So this is something that is already in the pipeline and we are drafting. And obviously, it's not an overnight thing. It has to pass through the other various arms of government for it to be approved. So I think by this time next year, we'll be having also a law that will be protecting this. But obviously, it's dependent on the willingness of government and their speed also in drafting and enacting the law.
And the people.
And the people, of course.
So that was Mr. Mautsa. Before we leave, contact centers usually, if we are to open a contact center, if there's going to be an international contact center in Zimbabwe. And then the issue of language arises, where maybe an Indian comes and calls in her or his language, and maybe even French. How do we deal with that in Zimbabwe, where English, Ndebele, Shona, and Mandau, we only have about 16 languages?
So when they are outsourcing to a particular destination, in this case maybe Zimbabwe, they select, maybe they target maybe from their customers, so they'll be given option to say, for English speaking language press 1. So if they press, so this is maybe the main where the main landing, where they will land as a customer. So then when they press 1 now, they'll be channeled to an English speaking nation. In this case maybe Zimbabwe. One day in Zimbabwe also, if we have a bit of French speaking people, they can, if you want to speak in French and stuff, that's how we can navigate and manage that.
I know, I understand. I was getting confused, but now at least now I get that. So has any research been done as to how much we stand to benefit as a country? We need the US dollars.
Yes, I mean the industry association says that we have every year we are yet to do for this year. But we did this research for the past 2 years, and we have also engaged reputable international researchers to come and assist us, because once they research, their voice matters and it counts on the global platform. Once they say Zimbabwe, here's what it takes, and once they mention that to the global players, automatically they will be inclined to invest in Zimbabwe. So that's why we need them. But right now, from the research that we did on our own, and there was no manipulation or influence from government whatsoever, we noticed that right now we are seated on 6,000, for example, in terms of employment, and our target in the next 3 years, not 5 years, we are targeting to have 30,000 people working in the contact centers. And in terms of the revenue, the foreign direct investment, and also the exports, service exports, the receipts that we will gain from that, the target was over 100 million US dollars. So which I think is very substantial given what we are going through as a nation. So we need this industry to kick, and we need government to really focus on this industry, and we need them to really research also as a government, and to incentivize, to come up with incentives that can really lower the international investors to come and set up operations in Zimbabwe, or to capacitate the local players who are already in the industry.
Thank you, Mr. Mautsa. I am Leopold Nende. This was the Business Desk. For these and more stories, please log on to our website, www.newzimbabwe.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Newzim TV, and follow us on Twitter at newzimbabwe.com. So we will be giving you updates from the upcoming conference, which is at the HICC on Wednesday, the 4th of September. Stay tuned.